Well, The Weeknd may have been one of the first musicians to speak out against the 2021 Grammy nominations, but he certainly wasn't the last. Sam Smith, Drake, Nicki Minaj, they've all voiced their frustrations. And now Halsey is adding her voice to the mix, saying Grammy nominations aren't about who's the most deserving, but who you know. With more, I'm joined by Virgin Radio's Jax Irwin. Jax, great to talk to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm great. So, with so many artists calling for transparency at the Grammys, is music's biggest night losing its credibility?
You could certainly see that. Certainly, a lot of artists want maybe something different done. Now, as we were just chatting about, you've seen Drake speak out about it. Obviously, The Weeknd, who had absolutely no nominations in any category, which is still very upsetting, especially over the weekend when we saw that from Spotify, his song was the number one stream song ever of this year. But artists are just wanting their music and their art to be actually accurately represented. And you really can't blame them. So Drake made a really good point last week. He said that something needs to change and that maybe something new needs to happen. And that's a new tradition. I mean, we have new ways of listening to music, various streaming platforms. So maybe it's time to just do a little bit of updating. I can see where artists are maybe a little bit frustrated, certainly.
All right, well, you talking about new ways of listening to music. Let's talk about new music. You've been listening to Miley Cyrus's new album, Plastic Hearts, first full length album since 2017. All right, you know it better than anybody. Should I be adding this to my playlist?
100%. And I don't know what I was expecting from this new album. I had heard that there was going to be, a little bit of rock and a little bit of country, as we know those are her roots, but I wasn't expecting a full rock album, and this is exactly that. I mean, if the blonde 80s mullet was indicative of anything, it's going to be that. It's going to be a rock album. It is so good. I mean, she has a ton of collaborations on there. We obviously saw Dua come in last week. They released a song together. Stevie Nicks is on there. Billy Idol's on there. She can do no wrong, and she does what she wants, and you have to respect her for that. I mean, we've seen her, touch more on hip hop and of course more pop and
Yeah.
more candy pop earlier in her career. But now she's doing whatever she wants, and I love her for it. I think that this is probably the most genuine that we've seen her musically in a long, long time, if not ever.
Jax, I got to say, I'm loving what she's doing recently as well.
Right?
J-Lo
Yeah.
has a new album, but people are talking about not what's on the inside, but what's on the outside.
As you probably remember a couple years ago, the Kim Kardashian photo that went viral, it had similar vibes, especially quote unquote blowing up the internet. So this photo alone had like over 7 million likes on her Instagram. And I mean, this is an over 50-year-old woman and she looks incredible. A lot of people dismissing it saying, Photoshop this, Photoshop that. Whether it is Photoshop, she is in wonderful shape and we should be celebrating her health. I mean, she's put out new music. I love the song. Of
Mhm.
course, that's secondary of what we're talking about. It's more of like a on the floor kind of her old Pitbull collaboration feel. But the artwork is beautiful. She is beautiful. Let's celebrate her music and her career and her womanhood. Let's just celebrate her instead of saying what happened here. It's wonderful. So go J Lo. Do what you need to do.
All right, Jax, last but not least, some of the biggest names in music are helping out with youth affected by COVID-19.
Yes. So One Mic Reverb Shop is doing this huge, huge charity sale online, and they have donated mics and some of the most beautiful mics from the likes of John Legend, Paul McCartney, Kesha, Bruno Mars. All of these artists donated these mics so that they can raise funds for youth programs affected by COVID-19. So a lot of youth music programs that can't necessarily do what they were doing pre-COVID now. So getting more money into the pockets of the youth who need it, who are learning music and trying to explore music, especially after COVID. We're going to have something for these youth, so it's wonderful. Some of these mics though, they're like next level. They're absolutely beautiful, like Paul McCartney one of a kind microphone. So hopefully the bidders will be
Wow.
out and raising money for a good cause from One Mic Reverb Shop.
Jax, always great catching up with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.